Katie Witham for Inside Pool Extreme News. We're here at the 2010 Super Billiard Expo. I'm here with Dennis Hatch. How did you do today?
I won, but I didn't play well.
You didn't play well.
No, not at all.
What'd you do wrong?
I just made a few mental errors, missed a few balls, rushed them, shot them too fast, and bad safety play. I played a couple safes and just tried to go like 2 rails and hook him behind the ball. And I left him wide open twice, so he was straight in.
Well, you did something right because you still won, so definitely.
I got lucky.
Yeah.
He missed a few balls, and they went my way.
Okay. And how long have you been playing pool? I'm sure a long time, but how long have you been playing?
I've been playing pool for almost 30 years.
Wow.
Since I was little. Yeah.
Okay. And are you still competing, or are you finished?
What do you mean, in this event?
Yeah.
I got to play tonight at 8:30.
So what are your sponsors? How do your fans get a hold of you and support you, and who sponsors you? And
Mike Galassi, Galassi Custom Cues. If you want to go to our website and take a look at his stuff, it's babiesproshop.com. He built me a $20,000 cue. Cue Shark, it's a tip tool, and Diamond Billiard Products. They gave me a table, and I play on it every day. It's the best equipment out there, so those are my sponsors.
All right, thank you. Well, thanks so much for doing the interview.
Todd Strickland. Let's see. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Max Eberly at the Virginia State 9-Ball Championships in Midlothian, Virginia, basically Richmond, Virginia. And I'm joined here by Brian Keller in the commentary booth.
Hi, Max. Good to see you.
You too. Thank you. And where are you from, Brian?
I'm originally from Virginia as well. I lived in Richmond for about 25 years, but I grew up in Northern Virginia.
Oh, cool. So I should probably know you because I grew up there.
Our two players are Todd Strickland and Thomas Dorsey.
That's right, Brian. And our sponsors today are Arrow Funds and Trust Wealth Management, Diamond Billiards, McDermott Cues, the official cue, Simonis Cloth, the official cloth, Diamond Billiard Products, Tight Rack is the official rack, Poolschool.info, ProPool.com, Inside Pool Magazine is providing the stream here. J.R. Calvert of Inside Pool is here, and Alvin Nelson producing the event.
And I wanted to pass along a special message that the Virginia State 9-Ball Championships wants to thank Arrow Funds and Entrust Management for sponsoring this tournament. This is the first time that a Wall Street mutual fund has sponsored a pool tournament, and they selected the Virginia State tournament with Josh Dickerson as the host because they feel it's one of the best-run tournaments in Virginia, and I would say in probably the East Coast. And they wanted to make this one their first. They're looking to sponsor some more.
That's cool. Very cool. It's nice to have some friends on Wall Street.
It really is, yeah.
Especially when they want to sponsor the event. That's cool.
Yeah, no kidding. Now, Todd, I believe, won the lag, and I think Thomas is on his first rack.
Todd Strickland, is he related to Earl the Pearl?
Earl the Pearl? I don't think so. He... it might be one of his faves, though. He claims that his claim to fame, Todd says his claim to fame is pocketing one ball at a time from time to time. So he's, I'm not sure he's claiming to be part of Earl's family. He's just gotten a great roll, and he played a pretty nasty safe there without trying to.
There's a few pool playing Stricklands around the country. You got brothers in Houston, Texas, Dennis and Barry Strickland. They're probably two of the top players in Houston. Okay.
That's Tommy trying. All right, he got a piece of the one ball. That brings Todd back to the table. I want to see that stroke. Maybe it is Earl's long-lost cousin or something.
Right. No, that is really cool to have a Wall Street trust fund company involved in this. You might have to look into that, maybe check out what they got going on.
They're
Best.
It's really interesting. The Thomas Dorsey Sr., son of the player, or father of the player up here, is an investment professor, I believe, and having a lot of contacts in the industry,
Wow.
kind of helped it. But I think they were very impressed with the demographics of the pool playing public these days.
Yeah.
You get a lot of league players, some nice demographics that are interested in a good investment portfolio. Those guys can help you out.
And that was the guy who was just playing?
No, that's the guy who's
Playing now?
This is Tom,
This is
who's
Thomas.
the son of.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the son of the one of the owners.
Who helped hook up that sponsorship deal?
Yeah, the father helped hook up the sponsorship deal. This one ball's giving these guys a hard time.
Here's Todd, right? Todd Strickland?
Yep. Cross bank in the one. All right.
Very similar to investing, playing pool is. You have to plan ahead. It's all about planning ahead, making good decisions, right?
That's a great analogy. If I could just plan a couple of bear markets ahead, I'd be in much better shape. I've gotten to where I can plan a couple of balls ahead, but I'd really like to plan a couple of small crashes ahead with my fund.
And maybe these guys can bail all of us out. They can save the world. This trust fund company.
That'd be useful.
Okay. Playing 5 years here, Thomas Dorsey.
Yeah, it has been.
How old is he?
He is going to be 30 later this
okay.
summer. Good to see young players playing the game. You need guys younger than me.
Well, you're making me feel young. So
I'm doing my best.
I'm 37. If he's 30 and young, then
He's young. I can tell you it's all relative. The older,
right?
The older you get. I remember
mental.
when I thought 30 was pretty old. I have a 26-year-old son who's married. I also got 3 other kids. My youngest just got out of high school, so. All right, played 2-railed shape to get to the 7 ball. Looking good now. He's got to work this a little bit. Looks like he's awfully straight. No, he got over. Good. This is a shot I've always struggled with. He's overrun position. Does he try and force it to get past the side pocket? Or is it better to draw back on this one? Looks like he's kind of 50-50.
right. Yeah, if he follows it, he's going to have a funny angle on the 9. So drawing it back will give him a longer shot on the 9, but a little straighter.
Looks like he's just trying.
Yeah, he really wanted to get closer to the 9. That's
Yep.
why he was doing that, hitting
Yep.
it hard. Kind of like, that's one of the golden rules. Don't sacrifice your shot on a kind of playing position.
Right. So take the longer shot as long as you
Well, make the ball.
make the ball. cinch
Yeah,
the
don't
ball.
miss
Right.
it because you're
Right.
trying what you're
Right.
trying to do. Yeah,
Right.
but just whatever you do, make the ball.
Well, that,
Easier said than
wow,
done.
no kidding. Was that a miscue?
Look, must have been.
Must have been.
He was planning this all along.
Yeah, worked right into his trap. That was talk about planning ahead.
Yep.
So this is the 7th year for the Virginia State 9-ball championships, and we couldn't be prouder. Josh has done a terrific job at putting this tournament together. And all right, there's the first game to Thomas Dorsey. Josh has done a great job at putting together a good field and gotten a terrific bunch of sponsors that have really stepped up to the table.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
It's 1-0 Thomas Dorsey.
We'll do it like this. We'll go like one.
Thanks.
Man, it's a beautiful room here too.
Isn't it though? Diamond Billiards is a really nice place. If you're ever in the Richmond area, we're in the Midlothian, which is the south side of town, and Diamond Billiards is the premier pool room here in Central Virginia. It's really terrific. 14 beautiful tables.
Great
really
food.
Good food. I was going to say, I saw you having a little lunch. Pretty
Yeah,
tasty.
I had a Boca burger, baked fries.
Nice.
They have nice photos on the wall, black and whites of some of the legends of pool.
There are some great portraits up there, no doubt.
I'm not too familiar with like trust funds. Do they ever include gold in their portfolio or stuff like that?
They can include whatever you let them know to do. Most of the, I have a trust fund on the other side of town, or a financial planner on the other side of town, because I live up on the far west end in Richmond, in Montpelier, which is another suburb of here. And the planners will they usually talk to you about what your financial goals are, and then figure out what makes the most sense for your investment portfolio.
So it could be anything.
Could be anything.
Yeah.
The younger you are, typically the sooner what age you start your investments, they usually tend to go a little more. You go for a little higher return, a little more risk. Once you get to my age and you start trying to slow things down and make sure you're salting your money away, you go for low risk, low return stuff that keeps your capital in place. I still have a ways for retirement, unfortunately.
What's your career?
I'm a trainer by trade. I do sales and management training. Nice.
Oh, that's cool.
It pays better than a pool career would have for me, because I'm a hack.
Pool's tough even for champions to make really good money.
I feel for you guys.
Well, there's some guys doing pretty good out there for making over 100,000, maybe over 200 or 300 or 400,000 once in a while.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's the names who are doing it right. They don't just play pool. They also know how to market themselves appropriately and get some good sponsorships. And
well, plus when the IPT wasn't around, there was actually prize money. That was
true.
Like really high prize money. So you had a few players.
Yeah, a couple of guys cashed
like
some big
500,000,
right,
300,000,
right,
stuff like that. Now the top players are making not even 100,000 yet this year, I think.
They have to hustle for it. That's for sure. I mean, I don't mean hustle. I mean play a lot of events.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, it's got a bad
Glad you-
connotation.
right,
Sorry,
that
I
was
want to
funny.
clarify that.
Yeah, but there are some players who have some great sponsorships. Nice shot.
Good stroke there.
Not as many as there should be, but
that's true.
It's cool. Maybe this trust fund here with Aero Funds is a good beginning. This is the type of company you would see setting up a $100,000 tent at a PGA event.
Absolutely.
They have a tent at every hole, and just to get a tent, you have to spend $100,000 at least. But it's that type of company.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Would do that.
Okay, match on the one-loss side. Table number 6, Stevens.
Pool does have some great demographics. I mean, if you really looked at it, I think pool is the most widely played sport in the world.
That's true.
I don't know if there's any numbers on that, but I think it probably is.
It is in this country. What I recall, a stat that I recall, is that it's the second highest participative sport in the United States. Now that means that at least one person, each person once a year picks up a cue and hits some balls around. And the numbers are something like 30 million people. And it's a big crowd. So 1 in 10 people at some point bump some balls around on the table. If we could get some interest out of that, you know, start getting some folks fired up about the game.
What's number one? Bowling?
I think it was bowling, yeah.
Yeah.
Golf is up there too.
Frequent participation, I think, is pool.
I have heard that,
Right.
yeah. Yeah, I've heard that as well.
7 or 9 times more.
Yep.
Or 7 to 9 in 1 year.
Right.
Or more.
That sounds right.
So yeah, I mean, how can we have the #1 played sport, arguably in the world, and have it not be making more money than golf or
hard to argue.
or football or even
we need a
bowling.
Tiger Woods. Well, you know, the bowling, the Pro Bowlers Tour has struggled for a number of years, and they finally have gotten a couple of solid sponsors. They've also kind of changed their stripes a little bit. I happened to flip around something on ESPN the other day, and they were outside bowling at, I don't know, like Disney World or something. So they're out there in shorts, bowling team event, 5 guys on a team, outdoors, you know, in these outdoor lanes, and it looked like it was, I don't know, 90 degrees, and you know, but they were having a ball. It was a great time. Big crowd too showed up.
I think pool has some potential. Tiger Woods, I think it's always had its Tiger Woods type of guys. It just never had the platform.
Never figured out how to really show it.
Yeah, because if you have the platform, then the young talent is definitely there, and more will come out of the woodwork.
That's
but
exactly right.
You only give a guy a couple years window to get in on the tournaments that aren't that big, and then before they decide that, well, maybe I should play golf or be a pharmacist instead of playing pool. And it's hard to allow that talent to develop.
That's true. We've actually got some pretty good talent here. There are our defending champion Brandon Schuff, who finished second 2 years in a row and then finally won the event last year. That was a nice bank shot that Thomas just played.
Oh, really? That must have felt good for him.
He was a man on a mission last year. It was fun to watch. See, there's a guy who knows his table. He's played here before. A couple of nice cut shots there.
Thomas Dorsey.
And this 9-ball puts Thomas up 2-1 in the race to 9. Here at Diamond Billiards in Midlothian, just outside of Richmond. There is a rich pool history here in Virginia. Joshua Dickerson, our tournament promoter, every year devotes the tournament and makes a comment in the opening remarks of the players meeting about, you know, what players are getting noticed or being honored. And this year was Willie Jobling, who many of you streaming out there, if you're one pocket players, I know you know Willie Jobling, and he also was a terrific trick shot player for many years. He was in, I think, Lynchburg, Virginia is where he lived last. And a terrific player, Willie, a great gentleman. I got a chance to meet him at the U.S. Open a couple of years ago. Just a great guy. He's one of those guys that once you're introduced to him, he always remembered my name. I was always amazed. Guy was 80 years old, and I'd see him, hadn't seen him in a year, and he'd walk up and say, "Hi, Brian, how are you?" Just an amazing guy.
And he passed away.
Passed
recently,
away.
didn't
He passed away, yeah, this past spring.
Yeah, I was sorry to hear that. He's a good friend. Super nice guy.
Thomas is starting to get a little stroke going here. He's finally catching a gear and making a few balls. He ran into that one a little bit, but he's okay. And bumping into the 8 actually helped him a little bit. I think he's got a little something going here. If he can get an angle on the 6.
Maybe shoot the 6 in the same side pocket. I think he was trying to do that.
That'll work. Yeah, I think it was too, but came up a little short by running into the 8.
It was a small window he had.
This will test your stroke, and he made a good one. He's a little straight on the 7. He's going to have to draw straight back, I'm guessing, to get for the 8. There you go. Had just enough of an angle to slide over.
I think he's feeling the speed of the table.
Yep.
Pretty good.
Yeah, he's starting to get it.
It's all about cue ball control this game.
It really is.
Of course, it's good for a shot maker. 9-ball is good.
Yeah.
But you really got to control that cue ball. Even like Earl Strickland, who's famous for his shot making,
Yep.
doesn't get as much credit for his cue ball control, which he has a great amount of it.
He really does.
You know?
Yeah.
But his
he
shot
absolutely
making
does.
is so phenomenal that it
Nobody-
overshadows his
Nobody
cue ball
pockets
control.
balls like Earl, that's for sure. He, my gosh, he fires them in and splits the wicket every time. But you're right, he has great cue ball control. When he's in stroke, it's amazing to watch.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that most of the time you're just it's all about staying in line, you know. But he
Yep.
knows the importance of, you know, long tough shots, so he works on them as
Yep.
you know, most pros will do. Going to need to work on those. He just worked on them extra hard and has some crazy awesome talent to go with it.
He does that. I got a chance to. I worked for a company years ago down in North Carolina, and we had a fairly large traffic event, and we get Earl at the time. This was back in the '93, I guess. Earl was winning everything on the planet and won the World Pool Championships, U.S. Open, and just was on fire. And because he was in Greensboro, we were in Winston-Salem. We actually got him to come out and do an appearance and do some trick shots, you know, and firing some balls. But before he did his appearance, he had a kind of a meet and greet with the folks from the company I was working with, and so he did some trick shots, and he said, you know, who wants to play some? And everybody threw me up there because I play a little bit. So
Yeah.
Earl, you know, was terrific. He, you know, racked the balls up, says, you know, go ahead and break, and racks up 9 balls, and I broke and ran the first rack, and Earl got a little quieter, and he racked again, and I broke, and he didn't say a thing, and all I did was rack, and he ran 6 straight games. Took him about 3.5 minutes to do all 6.
Wow.
And he didn't speak again until he had me 6-1. It was, and all I could do was just stand there and watch and go, oh my gosh, look at this guy. He is such a player. Thomas is catching a gear here. If he can. That goes. No, it flew off on him. That's too bad. He was looking to break and run 2 racks in a row. That was a stout little run.
Mm-hmm.
I rarely play 9-ball. I try and play in this tournament every year, but my favorite game's straight pull, and
Cool.
I'm learning to play 1 pocket. And I play in an 8-ball league. That's my preferred game.
8-ball league.
Yeah,
8-ball is a great game.
I really like 8-ball.
Strategy, cue
Yep.
ball control.
Yep.
Planning. Talk about planning.
Yep. Yeah, you better 3 shots is not nearly enough to plan for. You need to be out a little farther than that.
Yeah.
At least to start out with. You always end up rewriting your plan in the middle of the. When you lose the cue ball, which is bound to happen with me occasionally.
Yeah, 8-ball is one of those games where you have to plan the whole rack. The guy, you know, the guy who does is the guy who's going to win, as long as he can execute that plan. You know, or she.
It was interesting to me watching when the IPT was in play, because you guys were playing 8-ball then, and it was fun to watch. Todd Strickland gets out, and he now moves the score to 3-2 in favor of Thomas Dorsey. It was impressive to see the stats from the IPT and what percentages of runouts you guys had, breaking runs. And I guess I kind of expected a higher number, but I think it's driven mainly by how difficult it is to, you know, the randomness of the break is such that you're always going to have a tough run out, you know, some tougher than others.
Part of it also, I think the rules they had were that you had to be whichever group you made on the break.
Oh, is that right? You didn't have a choice off
You
the
didn't
break?
have a choice.
Wow.
Yeah, that makes the percentage go way down.
That makes it a lot harder.
Plus they broke kind of
Broke-
difficult.
right.
So that made it go down again.
Right. You were in heavy nap cloth and.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a tough one. I enjoyed watching those tournaments.
Yeah, me too.
Now did you play in all the IPT events?
I played in all of them except for the first one, the King of the Hill one.
The King of the Hill one, right?
Yeah. I didn't do nearly as well as I figured on doing.
Really?
Just didn't have great tournament. I almost did that last one that Thorsten Homan won.
Uh-huh.
I started to play good. And then Larry Neville beat me hill.
Uh-huh.
And but it knocked me out. But I think had I won that, I probably could have gone on to win. But,
were you surprised at the number of high-quality players? Because there's a bunch of people kind of came out of the woodwork for that, right? Some guys that were known more to be road players than tournament players who just suddenly showed up. And,
right.
You know.
I wasn't surprised at all. I mean, with that amount of money, $500,000 for first, you know, it can make more than you've ever made in your whole career. You know,
right.
Most of the players.
All in. Yeah. I don't know if you know, we had our first 2 tournaments here. Keith McCready. Because Josh it's open to Virginia residents and DC residents, and Keith McCready played in our first 2 Virginia state tournaments. He finished second the first year and won the second year, and it was just a joy to have him here. I mean, he is so much fun.
Where is he?
He's up in DC.
Still?
Yeah, still in
didn't want
DC.
to come down.
Well, you know, he hasn't played the last. It's probably been 4 events. He was, I think the next time well, that was a tough scratch.
Yeah.
The next time we had the event, he was working on IPT stuff. He was trying to get into an IPT, you know, tour, and he was playing on that pretty regularly. And then he kind of discovered online poker and found it to be a little bit easier money than what he was making playing pool. So I know he still plays. Josh still talks to him on the phone. I've spoken to him a couple of times.
Keith McCready became famous outside of the pool world when he was in the movie The Color of Money.
Yep.
Played Grady Seasons.
Yep.
Kind of played himself.
Yeah, exactly. It was not much of a stretch for him.
Played the #1 gambler in the world.
So Todd Strickland ties the score now at 3-all, and against his match against Thomas Dorsey here at Diamond Billiards in Midlothian, Virginia, just outside of Richmond.
There's a great spoof on YouTube on The Color of Money. It's called The Hustler of Money.
Oh, really?
It's so funny.
I haven't. I'll go look that up.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go look that up. No, it's 3-all. Now he's breaking at 3-all and something go.
So Strickland's about 31 years old here. Todd
He
Strickland.
is. Yes, he just turned 32. So I guess he could be Earl's younger brother.
Fredericksburg. That's up where Chris Lohr lives.
Yep, that's about about halfway to DC.
These guys probably play. Him and Chris. Chris is a great young player.
He is a great young player, and he is a former champion here.
Not surprised.
We got a match on the one low side. Table number 9, Beth Jennings and Dan Demmer. Race tonight.
I'm just hoping Josh doesn't invite me to play on the TV table. You guys will have to stream it on the Comedy Channel.
Oh yeah,
because
it's Comedy Central.
that's right. It doesn't belong on a pool channel, that's for sure. It looks like Todd's suddenly getting a little strict.
Yeah, look,
a
this guy can play.
Little stroke here.
He's got a message of his own.
Oops. See, it's the commentators. It's the curse of the commentator.
All right, that was funny. All right, not for him though.
No, not for him though.
Yeah, he was jumping around a little fast.
Yeah,
he was pumped.
He was suddenly getting in stroke, and heart rate started going up, and I think that's something that a lot of us in the amateur ranks struggle with: is how do I calm down and stay in the moment?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think one answer to that is really focus on what you're doing fundamentally wise. Make sure you're setting your feet up, your body up, getting everything. I mean, you see how fast he jumped into that?
He did. Yeah, he almost leaped up to shoot. Yeah.
And then started stroking.
Yep.
You got to take a little care when you're going down into your shot, because that's really the whole shot. Most top players could actually run out with their eyes closed once they get down on the shot, close their eyes and still make the ball and make all the balls.
Yep.
You know, and the only way to do that is with a superior setup. The way you position your body and everything. It's all about body positioning at the top level.
And you have to do it the same way every time. I mean, you really have to. It's about a pre-shot routine that works for you every time, and getting in exactly the same position every time, right?
Yeah. Unless it's a specialty like jack-up shot or something.
Right. So you're, I'm thinking that I read some of your stuff on the mental aspect of the game, but I don't know if I've read any of your stuff on the physical and the mechanics piece of it.
Yeah, I have a lot of stuff like that in Zen Pool. And then I came out with this three disc set called Powerful Pool World Class Fundamentals a few months ago.
Right.
So that's pretty much all fundamentals and setup. Everything you need basically to set up your stance, you know, detailed body alignment, and even go into like eye patterns and stuff with you know, how to time your eyes with the stroke and stuff, and 10 different aiming systems.
That was a nice carom shot.
That was a great shot, really.
Nice shot.
Looked like Efren Reyes right there.
It really did. So Thomas goes up 4-3 with that nice carom. Very well played.
Yeah, I was fortunate to have a lot of really good teachers growing up with about fundamentals. Chan Witt, senior.
I heard
worked
that
with me
name
a lot.
Today was the first time I ever heard anybody talk about that player.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
From Texas?
No, from West Virginia.
West Virginia. I'm sorry, West Virginia. Right.
His son was a junior national champion, the first BCA junior national champion ever in 1989.
Okay.
Chan Witt Jr.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, he passed away when he was 20.
Yeah, I heard he died in a car wreck, right?
Yeah. And the guy was just stone cold champion.
Phenomenal player, I understand. Yeah.
Like Alan Hopkins saw him when he was 12, I think. Said that by the time he's 15, he's going to be the best player in the world.
No kidding.
I mean, his stance was and stroke and everything better than all the top pros.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you just saw the guy get down on a ball, and you're like, wow, that's a pool player.
That's a pool
there.
player,
yeah,
right?
It's like,
yeah.
Yeah, he was really good, and his dad's really good too. I haven't seen him forever.
What part of West Virginia was that?
Lewisburg.
Okay. I was in West Virginia on business last week, up in Charleston. You say you grew up in Northern Virginia?
Yeah, in Arlington.
That's where I grew up.
Really?
Yeah. I went to Yorktown High School.
I went to Washington.
Washington Lee. Yeah.
That's cool. I went to Williamsburg though, intermediate.
Oh, okay.
Well, he wanted to play safe there.
Yes, he did, and it's got away from him.
You know, it's nice to play a lockdown safety where you actually freeze the cue ball against the object ball.
Yep.
And that's what everybody talks about. Oh, played him so tight, locked him up right up on the ball. You know what I mean?
Right.
But really, if you can just do the safeties where you're at least hiding the ball, it's like a million times better than leaving the guy in open shot, missing the easy safe.
Right.
You know, it's better to just hide the ball a higher percentage of the time than actually freezing him up against the ball.
A lockdown's great, but if you got him kicking at it or having to fight to get it, that's always a better move.
Yeah.
Get a quick shoulder rub before you
I think it was,
stop by the Kermit desk. We have shirts available.
I can't remember who said this, but there's nothing worse than a bad safety.
That's a great,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But it happens, you know what I mean? So you learn, you get the speed down.
I've been working on safeties a lot lately at home because it's probably the weakest part of my game, especially in 9-ball, because I just don't play it very often. And feel like I'm starting to get some insights to it and can play them a little more confidently.
That's good.
Certainly helped me in my first match. I'm not used to.
Looks like he moved his body
He
a
did.
little
Yeah, he
bit.
kind of jumped on it a little bit.
Yeah.
I know when I'm really playing well, nothing moves except my arm. And there's so much to be said. And your comment about perfect body position, it really makes all the difference. If your feet aren't planted right, if your hips aren't aligned properly, if everything's not solid before you pull the trigger, it's a bit of a lottery whether you're going to make the ball or make position like you're trying to. You may make the ball and end up screwing the pooch because you put the wrong English on it and slide it off to the side.
There's so many things that can go wrong. You want to keep your body still.
A pretty intense cut on the 4 ball, and he overcut it.
Another one of my coaches, Jason Bowie, he would say, pool, you actually have to do 2 things at the same time. You have to stay still and move.
Right.
Right?
That's exactly right. Yeah. No wonder it's a hard game.
Right?
Plus you're trying to hit a round object with another round object by hitting it with a stick.
One thing I like to say about the stroke and your body is separate your stroke from your body. So your body's there still, and then your stroke is moving. So if they're separate, then your body's going to continue to stay still, and your stroke is going to continue to move.
I think that's spot on. Yeah, that's a great thing to aim for.
Yeah, I remember whenever I was like in the zone or when I'm in the zone, just your arm is totally moving independent of the body. And then it's like you're just sitting back watching a movie. You know?
Right.
Arms doing all the work.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. You're just kind of along for the ride.
Yeah.
So Todd is looking to get back to 4-4 if he can get out with these, but bumped that 9 ball and left himself a very long shot on the 7? Yeah, it was at the 7.
Yep. This is a bear down and make it shot.
You have to be really committed to that, and you have to really stay still. Still jumping up just enough to miss those shots.
Saw that.
It's really amplified on a long shot like that. So tough position here. Does he play the combo? Does he play safe? I don't know if I see a safe that's worth a dart in this case. Cross the 8 into the bottom corner. What do you like? Combo?
You know what? I kind of do. I kind of do like the combo. For this reason.
Well, he's left him a tough shot.
Well, not tough enough.
Not tough enough. Yeah, that's.
He was trying to put him behind the 9.
Yeah, I think he was.
Wow, I'm surprised he did that. That was.
Well, I think he was
mature.
worried about passing the pocket.
Yeah.
I don't know how tight it was to the side, to the long rail, but.
He wanted to put it down a little further, closer to the rail.
Yeah, you wanted it on the head rail there. Let's see how Thomas stays down.
Well, speaking of Earl Strickland, we were talking about that exact same shot. And he hit the safety like that. He said, I can hit that every time. We're talking about going for a tough shot versus the safety rolling it up.
Well, if you can hit that every time, that's playing with a lot of confidence.
Well, I mean, the safety he could hit every time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that wasn't much of a safety. He got some distance, but that's about it. And fires it in 2 rails. They don't grade them, they just count them. That makes it 4 games each. We're all tied up.
It shows you how important the rules are in any tournament. Because they're playing in a lot of tournaments now. Called shot, called ball in pocket, which I've been trying to get passed or made into a rule forever.
Yep.
Finally they're doing it in a few tournaments.
Grady Matthews, the professor, has always said that's the only way to play 9-ball. You got to call ball in pocket, otherwise you're really, you're just whacking it.
Yeah, I mean, it could mean the whole difference between winning and losing the
Absolutely.
tournament.
Absolutely. It's bad enough when I always feel badly when I miss a shot and the ball, runs over and hugs up behind it, and I leave them safe, by stupidity, basically, because I missed the shot so badly. That, that's enough luck.
And there's another rule, too, where you call safeties. Like, if you didn't call that safety, then your opponent has the
option.
option.
Pass it back to you.
Yeah, which is also a good rule.
I like that, too. Our score is 4 games apiece here at Diamond Billiards, just outside of Richmond, Virginia, Midlothian, Virginia. Beautiful Diamond Billiards pool room. I'm Brian Keller, sitting alongside Max Eberly.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, you're not still a citizen of Virginia. We'd love to have had you in the tournament.
Yeah, me too. I'd love to be playing, but it's kind of fun to come down here and commentate. But yeah, no, I'm playing pretty good these days. It'll be fun to play. But, hit a few balls on the side.
You playing in the U.S. Open this year?
I might. Depends on where I am. Somebody's got to stop Mika from winning the U.S. Open 3 times in a row.
I've been sitting ringside the last, I guess the last 5 years, and watched, Shane Van Boning light the place up, and watched John Schmidt, have a great win from the loser side. And I don't think anybody has been just as dominating as Mika has been the last few years, especially, was it this last one that he won 11 or 12 or 13, whatever it was, straight matches on the loser side.
It was
pretty dominating
13 or
fashion.
14, yeah. Yeah, he's had an amazing year. Career, really. So,
although my favorite, I have to tell you, was watching Kim Davenport have a terrific U.S. Open. I've been a fan of his for a number of years, and he just, after his eye injury, from that driving range, he struggled with his game a little bit. And boy, all of a sudden, he just caught fire last year and ended up taking out Johnny Archer, his old road partner from back in the day, who he had done the introductory speech for the Hall of Fame dinner the night before. I felt so bad for him. But Davenport had a great U.S. Open.
yeah, I heard the story. I heard that story. Davenport called the time clock on Archer where they made.
I don't think he did. It was interesting. I was sitting there watching that match, and it was really very strange because suddenly, they were playing along at a pretty good clip. Their game count was very similar to the other 3 or 4 matches that were going on, and suddenly the tournament referee Scott Smith comes rolling over and puts the guys on the clock, and nobody could figure out what the deal was. I mean, it was just very strange because that was the only match they put on the clock. And I realized they were on the TV table, but gosh, it didn't seem fair. And typically, those guys have played enough that the time clock does not, I don't think it phases them too terribly much. But I think it got in Johnny's head a little bit. Coupled with the fact that Davenport seemed to start playing better. Wow, he's left himself tough on that. When you're playing well, Max, do you prefer to roll the ball? Are you more of a roller than a spin player, or you just a spin guy? What's your methodology? Whatever the shot calls for? I mean, the reason I ask the question is that my friends tell me that I play my best when I just roll it.
Mm-hmm.
When I stop trying to move it around and just roll it. And to a great degree, that's true. It makes it a little tougher to stay in line because you're having to rely almost solely on speed, to do so. But it does work for me. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, anytime I'm playing good, then I'm pretty much in line every shot. I have a nice angle, and I don't have to hit anything too hard or too soft, where I just like not a super soft roll. And
Just a smooth pocket speed kind of stroke?
Yeah, usually I'm going to have some type of English, you know, a little bit of right, a little bit of left, high, low,
Right.
whatever it is. So
Right.
it's not necessarily a pure roll that I'm doing,
Right.
but it's just a nice, smooth shot with a good angle, just kind of clipping them off like that.
Right.
But yeah, softer, I think, anytime a player is hitting them really good, you're going to be hitting them softer because they have the cue ball under control, and they always have a nice angle.
Right. And you don't have to hit it hard.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have to bust it to get position. You're just rolling it.
Doesn't require something hard because you weren't in a bad spot that made you require that.
Right.
You know, so.
Well, you also don't have to spin it real hard because you're not, again, because you're not far out of line.
Right.
All right, Thomas, look, bobbled the last one.
And you can do anything you want. It's almost like you can just kind of play around with the game. You know, I'll just draw it 3 feet in the middle of the table, land perfectly, or I can follow it 3 rails with high left and land perfectly that way. You know, it's just kind of like whatever you feel like doing.
Right. That's when the game's easy.
Yeah. Or I could draw the ball back, hook it around, hit the rail, reverse off the rail, and come back 2 rails down here and land perfectly. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just kind of like
Right. Whatever works
you
for
just
you.
kind of goof around. But I mean, if you're playing by yourself, you do all those crazy shots for fun.
Yes, just to see if you
Yeah.
can.
Yeah. But I
So
like-
Todd Strickland takes a 5-4
Yeah.
lead. That's his first lead of the match. He goes up 5-4.
Rotation is my favorite game. Well, there's not too much messing around in rotation, but you have to get in that zone where you're playing really good position.
Right.
And it's just a very satisfying game.
That's tough with 15 balls on the table,
Yeah.
too, to be playing position when you first break. A lot of traffic to go through. Yeah, that's a bad break he scratched. Cue ball kicked in. He turned loose of it, though. You didn't really have a good control on it.
Plus, when you're playing good, you're more relaxed. Your arm, you're more fluid. If you're not feeling that way, you have to create it somehow, or create that fluidity. Just
I had that my first match. I was really scuffling. I started out playing pretty well, and got right in the middle of the match, my brain. I think there was a tennis player years ago, Yvonne Goolagong-Collie, once described her brain as going on walkabout. She was Australian, and my brain goes on walkabout during matches. And I think that's the difference. And once you get to a certain level, it's less about stroke and more about where your head is. It's 6 inches between your ears more than anything else. And I just, I got out of stroke. I got out of focus. Nothing seemed to feel right. And I went from being up 7 to 3, and suddenly it was up 7-6, and had to, get it back. And I remembered. Talk about controlling your brain. I remembered that the thing I need to do when I get to that point is to focus entirely on my routine so that I make the ball. I just work very hard to make the perfect stroke, and if I've lined it up properly and I've got it in my head where it's going, everything works out perfectly. And I ran a pretty tough rack to take the win. Thomas Dorsey ties it back up 5-all in a very close match here at Diamonds. And now if I can just do that in the next match and the next match after that.
so you're focusing on the process.
Yeah, staying focused on. I had a friend describe it as perform the ceremony. We saw Todd Strickland here in this match, kind of leap into his stand, take 2 quick practice strokes, and jar the ball. It's because he didn't perform the ceremony. He didn't go, okay, what are the steps that I have to go through? And that really is a key for me anyway.
You didn't appease the gods with
It's
the
right,
sacrifice.
exactly. Exactly. Now he just made 4 balls on the break. Does he have what's the first ball? Is it the deuce up there, or is it the 3 ball behind the 4? I made 4 on a break one time and had an absolute Cosmo of a run out and hit the first ball into the rail. I was so upset.
Five.
5-all. Yeah, this is quite a death struggle here.
Well, now it's a race of 4. That's how I look at it. Anytime.
That's right. Exactly.
These matches, you know. So now it's like a local tournament, race of 4. Kind of anything can happen.
That's right.
So you better play perfect. You know, this is like down to the nitty gritty.
Mm-hmm.
Time to play perfect.
Time to buckle up.
Yeah. Of course, it's always time. It's
Look at that. Nice
it's never
shot.
a bad time to play perfect.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's true. That's true.
Yeah, that was looked pretty cool.
Oh, he hooked himself. Who's your favorite player to watch?
Oh.
Who do you like to see? Who do you like to have? You know, I was a competitive golfer years ago, and you get to where there are certain pairings you play with people, and you go, I just play well with them, you know, and we feed off each other. And who is it you like to watch who kind of like lifts your game up a little bit? You know, just kind of gets you into the right frame of mind, right comfort zone.
Varner.
Nick Varner.
At least growing up was always Varner, Siegel, Strickland, Buddy Hall, but Varner. Definitely, just the way, you know, his cue ball control, the way he concentrates, bears down so hard
His
on every shot.
His concentration's
you know.
amazing, it really is.
Now I like Suke.
Good. Oh, yeah.
I'm a fan of a lot of players for how they play.
Right.
Suke, similar type of game as Varner, actually. Very precise.
That's high
smart.
praise. That's a nice compliment to give somebody. Nick Varner's just a terrific player and a fine guy. I mean, just a gentleman. The Kentucky
It's
Colonel.
cool. His concentration is so good. It's kind of supernatural concentration.
Just want to give a quick shout out to a friend of mine, Amy Foster, who is a former Virginia native. She now lives in Winston-Salem, moved there on business, and big fan of pool, really good player in her own right. She and I used to have a weekly straight pool death struggle, but she had to move and was unable to come back for the tournament, but she just let me know she's watching online. I'm sitting here with Max Eberly, and I just want to say hi to Amy.
What's up, Amy?
See, Max likes you too. Just like that, Thomas Dorsey steps out, and he is up 6-5 in this tournament.
Break.
Match against Todd Strickland here at Diamonds. I'm here with Max Eberly, who is a pro and a JMU graduate.
That's right.
Local Virginia guy who's kind enough to fly in for the tournament, do some commentating with us.
Flew in my buddy's Toyota.
Flew in your buddy's
Ohio.
Toyota from Ohio. Is that where you're living now? Is Ohio?
No, but I'm visiting my family out there.
Oh, okay.
My friends. And Alvin Nelson, the producer of this live stream broadcast here.
So you came in Air Alvin?
Yeah, Air Alvin.
Got a big smile at Alvin with that one. So.
Pretty drive though through all the mountains and trees.
It is.
And the heat.
That's true.
You know, but it is pretty. Coming back to the East Coast, I'm used to the desert. And,
right.
You know,
so you live in
like
California, right?
California, Vegas.
Okay.
Just kind of all over. Really just been on the road for a few months.
Have you?
Yeah. Traveling. Next, Vermont. My little brother Will's getting married in August in Vermont, having a big old wedding
very
party
cool.
and everything. It's gonna be fun. You know.
Vermont is gorgeous in the summertime. It's good. You're having a great time.
That's what I've heard.
This is like the one tournament I'm
9-pound rainbow trout in
Yeah.
the local streams up there.
Isn't that great?
Not rainbow, but brown.
Brown trout?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some great fishing up there. My son and daughter-in-law live in Massachusetts, just outside of Boston. Daughter's working on her master's at Boston University. My son's working on his prepping for his engineering degree. He's going to Harvard right now.
Very cool.
And we love it up there. Up there in the north is gorgeous. And our youngest daughter's about to start at Yale, so we'll get a chance to go up to Connecticut pretty frequently too.
Ivy League kids, man. That's cool.
I got, you know, it's just blind luck. It has nothing to do with my genes, apparently. I have very bright kids, all hardworking.
It's cool, man. Well, we need them.
We do that.
This world, we need them.
Now Todd is starting to look a little more confident.
He's
But
so
see, he
fast.
jumped
Look at
into
that.
look
Yeah,
at it, he
he's-
jumped right into that stance. He's got to.
He's trying to outrun his nerves.
That's a good description. He reminds me of a guy I used to play golf with years ago who was a very quick player. And the better he played, the faster he would play. And the faster he would play, the better he would play. And there were occasionally rounds where we would play 18 holes in about 2 hours and 20 minutes, and you were out of breath by the time you finished because he would be running at the end. It's not good for pool, though. Hard to get a good stroke down when your heart's pounding. Ooh. Tried to play it one rail into the corner and just missed it.
Speed pool is particularly all about body positioning. That's what makes speed pool possible. So you have your body ready before it's down. That's why you just get down and hit it, because your body goes perfectly into the next shot. It's pretty easy once you get it down. It's all about, you know, setting your arm in alignment to your body.
Yep.
As you're walking to the next shot, you just kind of bring your body down into the shot.
Everything
already
just goes
prepared.
into position.
Yeah.
So Todd with a chance to go up, and he does. He ties it up 6 games all. So it's a race to 3.
Well, we got fortunate there to miss that 5 and still win the game.
He did. You know, Thomas has got to be kicking himself for not at least hitting that thing. 6 all. 6 games apiece. For those of you just tuning in, I wanted to take a minute to tell you a little something about one of our sponsors. The Arrow Funds and Trust Management are one of the key sponsors of this tournament. This is the first time that a Wall Street Mutual Fund has sponsored a pool tournament. And the Virginia State Tournament with Joshua Dickerson is one of the best run tournaments in Virginia, and they wanted to make this one their first sponsorship. And we are very thankful to Arrow Funds and Trust Management for taking the time and making the investment to come sponsor us here at Diamond Billiards in Midlothian, Virginia. We want to thank Max Eberly, who's alongside me here, for his commentation and ideas about the game of pool, the game that we all love to hate or hate to love, whichever way it works out.
Thanks, Brian. Yeah, it's
My
exciting.
wife is always, she has played occasionally, but she frequently asks me, why do I keep playing if I don't enjoy it very much? Because she'll hear me practicing, you know. And I keep telling her it's all about the struggle. You know, there's something about it's the endless pursuit of perfection that makes you want to keep playing the bloody game.
Yep, those few good shots that you hit keep you
Absolutely.
addicted. You want to do it all the time.
Because you know you hit at least a couple
Yeah.
every time, just like Earl Strickland or Efren Reyes or whomever, and it makes you want to keep coming back and trying it. And it's a game you don't have to be good at to have a good time. You know, you can get out and hit the balls around. There's something. I remember the first time I played, I was 5 years old. And I remember that I was absolutely fascinated by the path that the balls took and the angles they went off at, and the colors and the sounds. It was just an entrancing game.
I think it's good for rehabilitation too, for anybody who's had some physical problems and can't walk or something.
Absolutely.
A friend of mine out in Texas said that the doctor said he was not going to walk again, and he said it's the pool table that saved him.
Really?
He has a pool table, so he just forced himself to get up and walk around the pool table.
What a great story.
And he was able. Now he's walking fine.
That is great.
Yeah.
That's a terrific story. And this game can be enjoyed by anybody. I've been fortunate enough. I have a number of friends that think I can actually play the game, and have asked for an occasional lesson. And I have a 90-year-old woman that is the mother of a friend of mine who has come over to my pool room in my house for lessons, and it is so much fun to watch her because she's, I'll tell you what, she's damn good. It's,
Yeah, she's good,
it's
huh?
fun to watch her pull the trigger. She really has a good time. I remember the first time she came over, and I didn't know what to expect, and she dropped into her stance, and I went, wait a minute. You're looking for ways to hustle people at the home, aren't you? What are you doing here? You know, she was so much fun.
It'd be fun to see her come here and win this
It
tournament.
would, wouldn't it? It'd be a riot.
Come here, Sonny.
I know, right? Exactly. I can just see her out there hustling for drinks or something out on the table. Now, Todd is inspecting, is trying to figure out what he's going to do here. It looks like, what is he on the 6 ball? Got the 6, 8, and 9 left. No, I see the 7 in the corner.
Got ball in hand.
He's got ball in hand and he's
5,
shooting.
7. 5, 7, and 8. Yeah, well.
Okay,
Turned out
so,
all right.
So a little bump shape and he got to the 7 ball. Took his time and stayed down on it, made a good stroke. Oh, he got a little too strong with that, a little too sporty with the draw.
Mm-hmm. Just getting down and banking this.
All right, so can you bank it? And nice. Wow.
That pretty soft.
He did. He was kind of baby that in. Do you prefer to fire bank shots in?
I do. I like to spin them in either with outside. I would have hit that probably with outside draw pretty hard, just the speed to get the cue ball back to the end rail and freeze.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I like to hit them a little bit stiffer unless I'm crossing over the angle and floating the ball across the cue, crossing the cue ball.
Right.
I learned that shot from Robert LeBlanc, actually. He's coming out with a book real soon called Confessions of a Pool Hustler.
Oh, really?
It's almost done. He's been working on it for a while. And it's going to be a great book, man. The guy can tell a story. And he's for 30-plus years, he's been traveling the country, hustling pool.
Uh-huh.
Got great stories, and he tells them real well, too. So I'm looking forward to that book.
As long as I don't see myself in the book, I'm okay with that.
Right. At least not as a victim. But, he's one of the best bankers I've ever seen. And,
Really?
And have had a chance to play with him and learn a few things.
And, well, there's a fortuitous roll.
Yeah.
Thomas got a nice roll out of that one. The score is 7-6 Todd. So he needs 2 games to win this match.
Yeah, Thomas doesn't want to let Todd on the hill
No, he
quite
sure
yet,
doesn't.
anyway.
He sure does. Until he gets a little closer.
That was a bad hit.
That
I
was
think.
a bad hit.
For anybody out there who doesn't know, you have to strike the lowest numbered ball first for it to be a legal hit and hit a rail or make the ball.
But they seem to think it was a good hit. They might not have called anybody to come look at it. And if you don't call,
Right.
I'm also the referee for this event. If you don't call
Oh, you
somebody
are?
to come
Yeah.
look at it, then the call goes to the shooter. If the shooter says it was a good call, it's a good hit.
Right. Or if you both don't know, then
Right.
tie goes to the runner.
Exactly.
Shooter.
Yep. We're very excited to have a stream up this year and have people watching from all over the East Coast, apparently.
Yeah, I wonder how many people are out there watching.
Wow, over 100. Hot diggity. think, Max, there are dozens of people hanging on our every word.
Doesn't.
That was just for you and me, pal. All right, now Thomas is on the 5 ball. What's he have to do? What's his next shot? The hardest part of being the commentator is seeing a little screen.
You were watching like a 6-inch.
Yeah, we're
screen.
watching about a 4x6 inch screen, and about the same size as you're watching at home, probably on your computer. Now that I think of it,
It's a great picture, though, I gotta say. The
it's
lighting.
very clear. Yeah, the color looks great. All right, he fired it in, and he is
Well, he needs this, doesn't he?
looking pretty good. He needs this
Thomas
to tie it up
Dorsey.
to be 7-all.
He
Needs it bad.
You ever see that
Stand-
movie?
There's a shot.
Oh, no. Oh.
Oh.
There's a movie, What About Bob?
What about Bob? Absolutely.
Bill Murray. I need.
Now, so to get shape on the 9, do you take the longer shot or do you try a little
Go
3-rail
around.
action?
Go
Around the
around
horn,
3 rails.
1, 2.
I'm a position guy. But I think that was just the right shot. He hit
That
it
was
really
well
nice.
done. He hit it very
Sure
well.
did.
John, he shot that just like Rodney Leach, ladies and gentlemen. Good stroke. All right, 7 games apiece. We have a race to 2. We've got quite a match going here.
Time for a beer. No, just kidding. I'm not old enough to drink beer. No, just kidding.
Really? Me either.
I guess I am.
You are in this state, pal. You're drinking my favorite, too. We don't have any beer sponsors, do we?
Alvin Nelson is our beer sponsor. Just kidding.
That's right. I've spilled more than most people have drank. I know what you mean. Give me a Guinness any day of the week. Don't they sponsor darts over in Great Britain, don't they? It seems like
Well,
I'm always
they sponsor Pro Pool in Asia, the Guinness.
That's right, the
Nine-ball
Guinness
tour.
9-ball tour. Yeah, exactly.
Now maybe it's 10 ball. I'm not sure.
Yeah, might
they're
be.
doing a lot over there. They took a couple years off for some reason, but
Right.
they're back now. Indonesia, they just had an event.
Right.
I wish I was there.
Now, have you played overseas much?
Yeah, I played a lot in Asia, in Europe, and I'm planning on going back. And just went to Costa Rica, but I didn't really play too much. But I think there's potential down there too. Well, they like pool down there, billiards.
Yeah,
Green
absolutely.
cushion billiards.
Yeah. The Caribbean's got a lot of big pool lovers down there. An acquaintance of mine runs the Puerto Rico Billiard Federation.
Oh, yeah.
And they have quite a collection of players in that group.
Yeah, I met a couple Puerto Rican players in Aruba 5 years ago when I went there for a tournament.
Uh-huh. Harold Acosta is the guy who runs that group, and he's really nice guy.
Ditto.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's his nickname.
Yeah,
Right? Ditto.
exactly.
Yeah,
Ditto,
he's
yeah.
a cool guy.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's running out here to get on the hill.
He's running out to get on the hill. So I think he knows he's slowing down a little bit. He's not running to every shot. The balls are laying nicely. I think he's
Got some distance here to the
Yeah.
pocket, so just got to make this. Oh, he must have touched the cue
Oh,
ball.
he touched the cue ball.
Foul.
Well, you know what? I got to give him kudos for saying he touched the cue ball because it didn't see it move. And I'm always impressed when folks do the right thing like that. That's great. Not for him, but
Oh yeah, for
It's the
sure.
right way to
That's,
do it.
that's the right way to go.
I've seen a number of high stakes matches get kind of ugly because someone didn't admit to
Oh, yeah.
having touched the ball. Right now, Thomas is trying to get to the hill first here, and he's got a pretty nice little layout. Gonna have to spin the rock to get back for the 9. nicely.
You call crossing the line of position. Landed perfect. And
Well done.
yep.
All right, so Thomas Dorsey gets to the hill first. He leads 8-7 over Todd Strickland. Here on the one-loss side at the Virginia State 9-ball championships at Diamond Billiards in Midlothian, Virginia. Brian Keller here along with Max Eberly. And we're enjoying the action here at Diamonds.
That's right.
With a fan blowing on us, trying to keep us cool. The temperature outside today in Midlothian is in the mid to upper 90s. I believe it's about 96 right now. So it's a good day to be inside playing pool.
That's right. Pick the right sport, man. So if we were golfing, we'd be out there
Sweat.
having a stroke.
That's right, exactly. Exactly.
Who needs big money? You know?
That's
Like,
right. Yeah, who wants to make $1 billion?
This tournament actually has some good prize money for a
Yeah, for a state event,
championship,
for a state
yeah.
championship, there's a lot of
The
dough
pool
here.
state championship. It's nice sponsorship, and I can see it growing from here. So
Well, it's grown every year so
gonna be
far. This is
good.
our seventh edition of the Virginia State 9-ball championships. Joshua Dickerson is the tournament promoter. Also held a state straight pool championship back back in the month of, I guess it was May, and had it at Obelisk Billiards down in Newport News, about an hour and a half from here. Really nice room. And the winner of that event got entry into the Predator World Straight Pool Championships up in New Jersey later this year. The winner of this championship, the 9-ball championships, the winner and first runner-up get entry into, along with prize money, get entry into the U.S. Open. And for the first time in the history of this event, we have women playing alongside the guys. We have 8 women playing, and the top woman finisher in this event will also get entry into the U.S. Open down in Chesapeake. I believe it's the 34th U.S. Open, if I'm not mistaken. Held by Barry Behrman down at owner of Q Masters, Barry Behrman. Quite the promoter.
Yeah, you got a winner side match. Table number 4.
Oh, he is. How do you say? Do you say Bierman?
I say Behrman.
Really?
I'm not sure if it's Berman or Bierman or what it is.
Well, we always called him Berman, but maybe it's Bierman. I don't know.
It's Behrman, so I think it's Behrman. I could be wrong. Now, Thomas has left Todd a little bit of a challenge here. He can kick one rail into this. But he's jacked up over a ball a little bit, making the shot a little bit more difficult. He's figuring out what he wants to do. Would you go for the safety here and try and just thin the, is it the 3 ball? Try and get the cue ball up table on the head rail, or what would you try and do?
That's a pretty good call. I'd have to kind of look at it. That was actually a nice shot.
Yeah, that's not a bad play. Left him tough. So it sound like I knew what I was talking about?
Yeah.
See,
Yeah,
I
you
can
do.
never execute, but I I know how to play it. I just I can't actually do it. That's why they said, come on in the booth. You can be one of the commentators. You sound like a sportscaster. You don't know what you're talking about. Now he's left Todd with a really difficult shot here. He can still see it, so he can make the hit.
Felt really crazy. Could kick up table and go for the combo.
That would be crazy. That'd be a low percentage shot. It'd be something I'd try. All right, so he's going to put a little distance between
Well done.
the cue and the, laid him up on the rail.
Very well done.
Now he's left him a very, it looks like he's got about half or 2/3 of a pocket for the object ball. And if he makes it, there's no guarantee he's going to be able to stop and shoot the next shot.
Yep, it was the result
Oh, now he's left him,
Todd wanted.
he's left him a combo on the 9, I think. Hard one, but
Yeah,
he's eyeballing.
tough.
So at this point, it's kind of like, why not go for it? If he, even if he just hits the 3, he may make the 4 ball right here and continue shooting. Nope, missed everything. but he kind of left him semi-safe. He hadn't got much. I think you can see it.
Guys playing for first place with $2,600.
2,600 plus entry into the U.S. Open.
Yep. So it's nice stakes here.
All right, that's a foul. It's the wrong ball. Those of you new to pool, 9 ball, you got to shoot the lowest ball on the table first. Now Todd Strickland trying to get on the hill, make this a hill match. Trying to decide how he wants to attack this 3 ball.
Well, we couldn't ask for anything better than ball in hand.
That's for sure.
So he knows that.
Back a little bit for the 4. This is no easy run out still. Got to play a pretty sharp position on this next one. Another shot on the 5. Okay. A little closer to the rail than he'd like it, but he's okay. Now if he can cut this in, cue ball should come. Oh, he pounded it.
Yeah.
Looked like he shot a little quick that time, Max.
Too close to the, I mean, the rail kind of got him.
Yeah,
You
the
know?
rail got him, you're right.
Or allowed it to get him, but even so,
Yep.
yeah, and it did shoot pretty quick.
Yep. So now Thomas Dorsey with a chance to take the match down. He's checking to see what his next shot is, if he's got a shot there. Pretty natural shape to get to the next ball if he doesn't overhit it. Well, that's okay. That worked out pretty well, although he's going to have a tough chance getting back to the 8. He's almost straight in. It looks like he's going to have to go all the way up table and back down here. And depends on the bounce. I think he's okay.
Oh yeah, he's hitting pretty.
Sitting pretty with 2 balls to get the match.
Pop it a little bit. Yeah,
Hit that a little firmer than he would like.
it was straight in.
The
yeah,
only ball you
he's
like to
all
be
right.
straight in on is the last one. All right, can he make it? Took his time and hung it.
Oh my God, that was to win the match.
Oh my, yes it was.
Wow, now we have a hill
Now
game.
we've got a hill match.
He makes this.
He makes the 9 ball.
That, you know what? This might not be.
It's
that
no
easy.
hanger. It looks like it's hooked in the corner of the pocket,
Right. It's hard.
but
to see.
it's no bargain.
Well, he's rolling it, so
Okay, made
it
it.
was hanging enough.
And this match is going to the hill. We are 8 games apiece, tied up, race to 9. This is on the 1-loss side. So this is to keep your tournament life intact. Todd Strickland will be breaking for the match at 8 games apiece against Thomas Dorsey, who is one of the owners here of Diamond Billiards in Midlothian, Virginia, just outside of Richmond.
Wait, he is the owner?
He's one of the owners.
Okay,
Thomas.
Thomas.
His father Thomas.
Oh,
and
okay, his father.
His mother Cynthia.
Okay.
Are the 3 owners of Diamond Billiards.
And the tournament sponsored by Arrow Funds and Trust Wealth Management. The first trust fund ever. to
First trust fund to sponsor a pool tournament. That's right.
Yeah,
We're very proud of that.
yeah. I want to thank those guys. And McDermott Hughes, Simonis Cloth, Diamond Billiards, Tight Rack is the official rack, poolschool.info, propool.com, Inside Pool Magazine is the streaming provider, produced by Alvin Nelson, and Definitive Synergy POS Billiard Management Software.
Sure, use a 9-ball out
And if anybody's interested out there in a free boot camp, I have one that I just put together that you can sign up for on my website, maxeberly.com. Just put your name and email in the form, and I'll email to you 8 videos, one every few days, with some really helpful pointers on improving your game.
I can't wait to do it. I'll do it as soon as I get home. Cool. Look, I'm a big student of the game. I actually took the pool school